Today is Tuesday, August 9th, 2023. The typhoon Kanun is approaching both Japan and Korea. Now the typhoon is hitting very hard the Kyushu province of Japan, that's south of Korea, and the Korean Peninsula is expected to see the effect of the typhoon tonight in like a 5 hours time. Then it will be the strongest tomorrow morning and afternoon. Since I live in Gwangju, we will see the typhoon landing tonight, and I will take a precaution not to venture outside as less as possible. Since I traveled to Japan last week, I got suddenly interested in Japanese knives. I was not until my female friend, my female colleague, mentioned to buy one for her. She said she will repay me later, but when I went to Kappabashi Dogo Street, that's the kitchenware street in the west, kind of a midwestern part of Tokyo, I was surprised. There were too many shops, and each shop carried like more than 1,000 all the way to 3,000 knives on the shelves. So it was very difficult to decide on which to buy one for my friend. And also I was curious about whether it is allowed for us to buy the kitchen knives and bring them home to Korea, because the knives are one type of weapons. But later I find out that if the knife or sword has both edges on the left and the right, or up and down, real sword, then it is considered a weapon, and we need to secure a permit to buy one, to carry one, or to store one at home, or even to import one from overseas. So the length of the sword gotta be less than 20 centimeters. That's more like a 15-inch or 14-inch knife, and both sides should have edges. But kitchen knives, they only have one edge, right? Of course, it can have a single bevel or a double bevel, but I mean, not both sides. Only one side has the edge, sharp edge, and the other side is just flat, where you could put your palm to help slice the food that you are trying to cook. So definitely kitchen knives can be imported. You can order them online on the Japanese website and bring them home via DHL or FedEx. So as with yesterday and the other day, let's find more about Japanese knives by reading this English article from foodandwine.com. And I am trying to read this English article as my endeavor to practice to read one English article each day of like a 20 to 30 minute length read time. So it's a dual purpose on my side to understand about the subject that I am interested in, and also to practice English by reading the article aloud. While reading the article, I will just try to memorize the new expressions, old cliches, good expressions on the spot right away. Most of the times there were only one or two words that I need to look up in the dictionary. Not necessarily because I don't know them, but just I want it to be more accurate. So here we go. The 8 best Japanese knives for every task, including everything you need to know about them. Still searching for the perfect Japanese knife? Cut it out. By Jennifer Ziman. Updated on July 27th, 2023. We independently evaluate all recommended products and services. If you click on links we provide, we may receive compensation or premiums. Learn more. Food and Wine, Brian Kopinski. Have you wondered what makes Japanese knives special and why they differ from European or Western brands? The easiest answer comes down to the blade and the construction. Typically, the carbon steel blade is harder with Japanese knives, so they can break if you use the wrong one to cut the wrong thing. Hence the specialty of Japanese craftsmanship. So carbon steel. They use carbon steel blade, but it can be broken when you use the knife on the wrong food. Japanese knives are single edge, meaning they only need to be sharpened on one side. That is called single bevel. This is different from most Western style knives. Of course, in Korea we use the double bevel. Both sides are sharpened, which have a double edge, double bevel, and need to be sharpened on both sides. Same with Korean knives, kitchen knives. Western style knives, such as those made by Wistorf, are made from softer materials, which need to be sharpened more often. That's the price you pay for something that doesn't need as much care as a Japanese knife. Still, many believe Japanese knives are superior because they are sharper, more beautiful, and more precise, which is why so many chefs worldwide chose them over all others. Knife expert Michael Ban of Moshi Moshi Knife Sharpening, who also lent his expertise when we tested the best pairing knives, could wax poetic about Japanese knives for hours. And he's a treasure trove of information. Wax your pussy or wax your body. But here wax means talk much like a drooling, right? Wax poetic about Japanese knives for hours. Since he handles so many knives daily, most of them not his own, he's developed some brand preferences, which we detail throughout our recommendations. But before I go further, let's go back and look up this word one more time. Wax. Made of wax, resembling wax. But a verb, rub or polish with wax, treat with wax, cover with was? I think wax. Remove hair from part of a body by applying wax and then pulling it off with the hairs. Increase gradually in quantity or intensity. Like a moon was waxing. Increase, that's good word. Increase gradually in quantity and intensity. Grow, swell. Make a recording of, record records. Become more illuminated as does the moon. Waxing moon. Moon wax to a half moon from crescent. Become more illuminated. Can wax poetically become more illuminated. Intense, grow, swell. So here, could wax poetic about Japanese knives for hours. As he intensifies his description of the Japanese knives and his praise of Japanese knives. Japanese knives are very specific, with each style designed for a specific purpose. There are even Japanese butter knives that solve the cold butter and toast problem. We figured we could leave out the blowfish knife though. After testing hundreds of knives internally and consulting with our expert, we cut down the list to just 8 of the most commonly used knives and explain each with a recommendation. Read on for our best picks for razor-sharp Japanese knives. Any chef would be proud to own our top picks. Best everyday knife, Mac knife 8-inch hollow edge chef's knife at Amazon. Jump to review. Best Kyoto, Tojiro TP Kyoto chef's knife at Amazon. Best Santoku, 3-purpose knife. Masamoto Santoku knife at Amazon. Best Nakiri, Tojiro Nakiri knife at Amazon. Best Deba, Yoshihiro Katsumi Deba fillet knife at Amazon. Fillet is cut the braised pork slicely. Best boning knife, Sean Cutlery Classic Kokujo 6-inch boning and fillet knife at Amazon. Boning and fillet knife. Miyabi Kaizen 2 9.5-inch bread knife at Williams Soma. Best everyday knife, Mac knife 8-inch hollow edge chef's knife. What is it? Hollow. Maybe holes there. Looks like there are many holes. Some knives skirt the edge between styles. Some knives skirt the edge between styles. The super popular Mac knife series hollow edge chef's knife won best overall in our chef's knives test, which is no small feat. The Mac has a very nice, evenly balanced feel to it between the weight of the blade and the handle, says Hunter Lewis, editor-in-chief of Food and Wine. It feels solid and good in my hand, and it has good weight and balance that makes it an all-purpose chef's knife for people with medium to large hands. The Mac is designed for a multitude of purposes. Like a series of purposes, a lot of purposes, a multitude of purposes. There are slight difference, slight nuance, but same thing. And makes easy work of most ingredients thanks to the hollowed notches of the blade, hollow notches, concave, which helps release stickier items. Exactly. More porous, less sticky. The Peckerwood handle doesn't slip in hand, which makes all cutting with alloy steel blade feel more secure. Price at time of publish, $100. Best Kyoto Tojiro DP Kyoto chef's knife. Kyoto is one of the most versatile knives because it can be used with vegetables, fish, and meat. Kyoto. Hey, living in the past, this is a knife you should buy. It resembles a Western style knife since it has a rounded blade, which enables you to rock the knife while chopping. Rounded blade. To me, it's still pointed, but it says rounded blade, which enables you to rock the knife while chopping. Rock the knife while chopping. Rock the knife while chopping. You don't want to butcher anything with very large bones, though. That necessitates a cleaver or a deba. Tojiro is an excellent and reliable brand, and the TP Kyoto knife performed so well in our tests that it ranked well among all types of Japanese knives. Pretty much every line cook who has bought their first Japanese knife bought a Tojiro TP Kyoto, and they are all super stoked to have it, says Ben. Super stoked. Yeah, Kyoto. That's the knife. Kyoto. Yeah, I just saved the screen to send it to the female colleague who requested me to buy one for her, and of course on money. Tojiro is an excellent and reliable brand. Super stoked, all super stoked. I've gifted many to chefs over the years. I've gifted many to chefs over the years. I've gifted many to chefs over the years. When testing the DP, we found it cut through the tomatoes like butter with no snagging of the skin or mushing the juice out. Snagging of the skin, or mushing the juice out, snagging the skin, and mushing the juice out. Price at the publish $100. Best Santoku Mosamoto Japanese Santoku knife. Santokus are a great multi-purpose Japanese knife for everyday use. Its rounded tip and a hollowed blade makes it suitable for chopping, slicing meat, fish, and vegetables. So this one you should buy while you are in Japan. It's rounded. It is less sharp than a Gyoto. Masamoto's Santoku ranked high during our Japanese knife testing. During our trials, we found it simply designed but attractive with no frills. It has a gorgeous water buffalo horn and natural magnolia wood handle. That's natural magnolia wood handle, buffalo design, right? It has natural magnolia wood handle, buffalo horn. Where is the horn, man? During the knife is made in the style the company has used for 6 generations, as it was found at the end of the Edo period in Japan. With the right care, you can trust the craftsmanship, and the knife will last you a long time. Best Nakiri Toijiro DP Damascus 7-inch Nakiri knife. A Nakiri is made just for vegetables. Yeah, I don't need it. The rectangular knife typically has a thinner blade, which makes it easier to make precise cuts. It is less versatile than something like a Santoku. They can also handle other items like fish and meat. Instead, this knife is best used when cutting down versus racking. Tojiro topped the charts when we tested Nakiri knives, and they come in a range of prices. They are incredibly nimble and sharp, making cutting through things without force easier, especially good characteristics when cutting hard vegetables like carrots. This mid-range model has a Mikart handle, and the Damascus blade is made using 37 layers of carbon, low carbon, and high carbon stainless steel folded over the thick core of cobalt alloy steel. Interesting. It is folded over the thick core of cobalt alloy steel. Price at the time of publish $153. Yeah, I don't need a vegetable knife, but Nakiri sounds good. And best Deba, Yoshihiro Shiroko Katsumi Deba fillet knife. That's a fillet knife. I think many Koreans use this type of knife at home because it looks quite familiar. Debas have strong, thick blades that are good for small bones and cartilage. They usually are shorter blades, which makes them easier to maneuver with meat like poultry. Shorter blades. Yeah, the length, shorter. This design helps remove tails and heads from fish and is incredibly durable. Again, if you are breaking down a large animal with thick bones, this is not a knife for that. Reach for a cleaver instead. For the thicker bones, big animals, you need to use cleaver knife. So this is deba. Debas sometimes come in shorter styles such as this one, which is also only $55. The handle has water buffalo horn bolster with magnolia wood, and its blade is a single-edge Scirocco high carbon white steel. See, carbon steel. High carbon white steel. I do know there was a white steel. I know high carbon content is higher, but high carbon white steel. We recommend spending more for the deba because sturdiness is crucial for safety when dealing with butchery. Sturdiness is crucial for safety when otherwise you would exert a lot of force on the knife. By doing that, it would rock the knife or it would just fly off the subject and it would hit your cheek, your thigh, your eye, your head, some other place. So you gotta be careful. So sturdiness is crucial for safety. Yoshihiro's artisans are experienced craftspeople who make each knife by hand, going on 100 years. They recommend oiling blades with tsubaki oil between uses. I wonder what tsubaki is. So that's the shoulder length deba knife. Tsubaki oil. What is the tsubaki oil, man? Let's look it up. Tsubaki. Yeah. Tsubaki, over 1.5 million hotels. What the? Yeah, what is the Tsubaki? Tsubaki group. Tsubaki. Yeah, Tsubaki oil. What is the Tsubaki oil? 동백. Oh, okay. There's camellia oil. Camellia seed. You see the flowers, and then there are hardy seeds, much larger than the pumpkin seeds. It's a subaki. It's a 동백. It's a man. It's not a subaki oil. It's a camellia seed oil. Damn, I didn't know. But Japanese is becoming more popular, man. We are competing with Japanese. I'm just joking. Where were we? Yeah, this one. Price at time I was published, $240. Best for slicing fish and meat. Kikuichi Warikomi Chuchime Finnish Sujihiki knife. There are numerous Japanese knives for slicing sushi and sashimi. Although most home cooks don't need such specific knives, we like a sujihiki for home use because it can help with slicing fish, but it also is an excellent carving knife. If we don't mention kikuichi, we are definitely doing something wrong here, says Ben. They started making knives 700 years ago. I love them so much because of that storied history. They made samurai swords until the major restoration, when samurai swords were illegal. So they just switched and started making kitchen knives. The fit and finish are always immaculate, flawless, without problem. Excellent finish. Immaculate, Immaculate Pregnancy by Virgin Mary, which is laughable. And they are easily one of my favorite brands with so many options from $85 all the way up to $600. If you don't want to spend that much, this Kai Yanagiba, which is for finer fish work, is only $63. Price at time of publish $325. Best boning knife, Shan Cutlery Classic Gokujo 6-inch boning and fillet knife. Wow, it looks very sharp. It could be used as a weapon, like a revolt on the ship. Due to the specialization of knives, what protein you are butchering leads to what you should buy. Boning here, protein means what meat you are butchering leads to what you should buy. Boning knives are no exception. We recommend a Kokujo, which is adept at handling fish, poultry, and red meat. The Shan Kokujo actually won among all the boning knives we tested. The stained peckerwood handle and hammered Damascus steel are gorgeous to behold. While you have to handle Shan blades with care, this boning knife still makes easy work of detailed butchering, such as trimming. The blade curves up, which helps remove meat from the bone with leverage, contending with tougher cuts. Price at time of publish $139. Yeah, I'm just looking at the handles, especially this one. Okay. Handles should be made with precision. Best Japanese bread knife, Miyabi Kaizen 2 9.5-inch bread knife. The best Japanese bread knives make easy work of slicing even the softest bread without squashing the crumb. Many are just as beautiful as any other Japanese knife variety, with serrated blades to make easy work of milk bread or tomatoes for summer sandwiches. Serrated, that's good expression. Serrated teeth of the dinosaur. Serrated soul. Serrated, right? Serrated shell. Serrated shell. During our testing, we awarded the Miyabi best in the design category because it's just that gorgeous. Really? Because of red rings at the top and the bottom of the handle? Many are just as beautiful as any other Japanese knife variety, with Miyabi's knives are exceptional in many ways, which is why Ben calls them his favorite brand. We like this knife for more than its looks, though. It is incredibly sharp thanks to how it is honed using the historic Honbazuka method. Just make sure you keep it very dry before storing it so the blade doesn't rust. Price at time of publish $180. Factors to consider: blade, the hardness of steel, or HRC, hardness of steel, matters when it comes to blades, especially those made in Japan. Most knives are graded using the industry standard for hardness, known as the Rockwell hardness scale. Rockwell hardness scale. The lower the blade's Rockwell rating, the more easily it will blunt due to its soft makeup. Blunt. Yeah, blunder, blunt. Yeah, blunt, brute force, blunt. We blunted the outside force, pressure. Blunt means like bend. Absorb the shock and bend. Blunt, I think. Let's find that out. I want to be real accurate. Let's do quickie. Okay, this is what I call quickie. Not the other way around. Blunter, bluntest. not sharp, simple, blatant, bare, characterized by truthfulness in speech. Thick needle. Verb make less sharp or intense, dull, soften, alleviate, blunt. Dull, blunt. The more easily it will blunt due to its soft makeup. Japanese knives have a rating between 55 to 62, making them harder and stronger than Western-style knives. I'm looking for nice, hard Japanese steel and good steel too. It's metallurgically sound on the inside and tempered harder, says Ben. Since Japanese steel is harder, it will break before it bends, which is why some brands are prone to chipping. Chipping. Another area Japanese exceed in relation to Western knives. Hardness does help with edge retention, but the hardness does help with edge retention. Another area Japanese exceed in relation to Western knives. So hardness, it will just chip. It will have a problem of chipping, but it will retain the hard edge, sharp edginess. Handle. Most Japanese blades have a finished or unfinished wooden handle. They are traditionally octagonal, D-shaped, or oval-shaped for optimal grip. Octagonal, D-shaped. Some brands like Global have metal handles that are easier to maintain than wooden handles since they need to be oiled occasionally so they don't dry out. If you are butchering fatty meat, metal handles can become more slippery than their wooden counterparts. They are still quite secure though. Choose the one that is best for you and your style. Wooden handles, they need to be oiled with camellia oil. But metal handles, they don't need metal handles. But it would be tricky when you slice through the meat because you need to exert a lot of force. But the metal handles will give you less grip, slippery. Maintenance. It's almost a disservice to say any Japanese brand is low maintenance. You can't just light them gently in the sink and leave them with water, says Ben. That would lead to rust due to the amount of carbon in the steel. Ben recommends using hot water when you clean your knives because the residual heat helps dry any residual water on the blade. He also recommends oiling your handles every 6 months or so. You also need to handle your Japanese knives with care. You can drop this knife. You can't leave it in the water. You can't twist your way through a butternut squash with this knife because it's gonna get chipped. You have to baby them a bit. You have to baby them a bit. That's good expression. You need to baby them a bit. You have to baby them a bit. Chipping, chipped, butternut squash, dry out, recommends residual temperature conduction. Price. While there are different price points for Japanese knives, spending more if you can is always a good idea. Michael Ben believes, it was B-E-H-N, wasn't it? Michael Ben believes in buying a good knife once and handing it down as an heirloom. Inheritance, heirloom. I got the comb from my grandmother as an heirloom, right? I don't want to give money to my children, my two daughters, as an heirloom. I would like to spend them all and not give them any penny. Heirloom, right? Handing it down as an heirloom. If you are trying to buy a knife, you are going to pass it down to the kids. and $350 bucks. Dollars doesn't seem like a big deal for something you are going to own and use every day for 50 years. That's typically how I break it down. You are gonna use this thing every day. Japanese knives can reach $15,000 easily, according to Ben, similar to Anthony Bourdain's knife from Bob Kramer, which has literally meteorites in it. The market for artisans in Japan is even more exclusive. Our Japanese knives testing Japanese knives was an expensive group effort. We employed editors and in-house culinary experts to test over 70 knives in a mix of styles we think everyday cooks use at home. After consulting with experts and examining all of our extensive testing data, we cut the list down to a good mix of price points and brands we consider trustworthy price points. With the right care, a Japanese knife should last a lifetime, and we wanted to ensure your money isn't wasted on low-quality steel. Frequently asked questions. I will skip that. Our expertise. Jennifer Zeiman is a senior commerce writer for Food and Wine and a recovering restaurant critic with a culinary school degree and over 15 years of food writing experience. Amazing. Her work has appeared in Atlanta Magazine, Bon Appetit, Eater Atlanta, The Kitchen, Local Palette, National Geographic, Southern Living, and Thrillist. She wrote this story using our testing insights, research, and culinary expertise from Michael Ben of Moshi Moshi. This is a good article. From this article, we learn such expressions as you need to baby them a bit, baby a knife a bit, a chipped, serrated knife, a boning knife, a rock the knife, pressure, force, Clippery, Rockwell, hardness rating, HRC, high carbon, white steel. Japanese knives are harder, but is more susceptible to chipping, but it has a higher retention of sharp edginess. Bevel, single bevel, double bevel, single edge, double edge, pointed tip, and so on. Thanks for listening. This was a very good, insightful article. Thanks all to you, Food and Wine. And thank you, Jennifer Zeiman. You did a good job. I recommend her to everybody. Bye-bye. Take care.